Welcome back. It's another Throwback Thursday here on Winging It Buffalo Style. So we're taking a walk down memory lane to take a look at a significant figure from Buffalo's past. Today we're remembering Buffalo's longest serving mayor that was known for the feisty personality he brought to City Hall.
I don't have any problems with you. I don't have any problems with the radio, because what you hear me say and what you see me say, that's what I say.
You heard it there. James Griffin said what he said, and he meant it. Throughout his 4 terms as mayor, he may have had his political detractors, but he played a large role in the resurgence of downtown Buffalo in the 1980s. Here to tell us a little bit more is Steve Zishan from Buffalo Stories. And Steve, I look at that photo of him on the waterfront, and I just wonder, what do you think he would think today of all the development going on at the waterfront?
He would just sit there and love it and be a part of it and know that that was his vision 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and people didn't, Buffalo, pound Buffalo, right? People didn't love Buffalo then. Jimmy Griffin did, and he would be really proud and know that this was his vision for 30, 40 years out.
They didn't really believe in it the same way as they do today, but he really got this all launched in the 1980s. What things that are still around today can we thank him for? Well,
the ballpark, for one, it was his personality. He pushed through the ballpark. There were state rules that prevented it from being built and all sorts of things. There's still bills that weren't passed in Albany that needed to be passed in order to get the ballpark built. But he did it through sheer determination. The building of what is now the Adams Mark Hotel, that was sort of just an abandoned part of town at that point. A lot of the things along the waterfront, he sort of started, and we're building upon that now. Every time you go down to the waterfront, there's something new.
And a lot of times when people bring him up, they use the term feisty. Why is that?
Yeah, well, you know what? He was a guy who said what he meant. And I think you knew where you stood. I don't think you know. I know you knew where you stood with Jimmy Griffin. Some people didn't like that. Some people didn't like where they stood with Jimmy Griffin. But at the end of the day, you knew where you stood. And I guess that's for me, that's a positive. That's what I like to see.
And you had shared all of these photos with us today. We saw a couple of them back there. There was one where he was riding an elephant. There was one of him with the president. Tell us a little bit about some of those photos.
Well, you know what? He's a good guy. He's a good family guy. And he liked to bring a smile to people's face. I put together a book where there are about 150 photos of the mayor. And in all but a few of them, he's smiling. People think of, there was sort of an angry tone in that clip that we played at the beginning, because a lot of people didn't like him, and they put him down. And, imagine reading every day in the newspaper, what a jerk you are. They kind of brought him down a little bit sometimes. But at the end of the day, he was a smiling guy, a happy guy, and I think that sort of permeated through everything he did.
And he was a Buffalo guy, too. We have this.
Absolutely.
His most famous quote was during the blizzard of '85. He said, "Stay inside, grab a six-pack, and watch a good football game."
Right. And it's great advice. And, everybody says that now when it snows. You look out the window and you see it snowing. Everybody says that. You get a lot of grief for that then. How can a mayor say something like that? You're the mayor of the city. Have a little more class. Now it's, just a classic Buffalo saying. So, yeah, it's just sort of a perfect picture of what. And the poor mayor thought that would wind up on his tombstone. Everybody said that to him for the rest of his life. So.
Hey, it's not that bad of a quote. All right, so the Run Jimmy Run Charity 5K is coming up this weekend, taking off at his statue that's right in front of Coca-Cola Field. Tell us a little bit about the event.
Well, it's a great event. It's fun. It runs past all of the City Hall, all the things that Mayor Griffin would love. The brand new things going on the waterfront. And it raises money for the Alzheimer's Association. Mayor Griffin passed away from a different form of dementia, but the folks at the Alzheimer's Association are always willing to help anybody with any form of dementia, whether it's Alzheimer's or something else. The victims, the families, everybody involved. So it's great to raise money there.
And this is the second annual event. How was it last year?
Second annual. It was great. First one. Nobody knows how it's going to go. And hundreds of people showed up. Almost ran out of food and beer. Didn't quite, because you never run out of beer at a Jimmy Griffin party. But this year is going to be even better. So I hope you can stop by the ballpark.
All right, that's again happening on Sunday. What time is the race?
Starts at 10 a.m.
All right, starts at 10 a.m. Get your running shoes ready. And how about a couple? I have a feeling Buffalo shirts will be prevalent there, right?
Absolutely.
Any Buffalo-themed attire, right?
There'll be six-packs. There'll be Mayor Griffin shirts. It's going to be great. It's going to be a really good time.
Hey, maybe if you go, you can take a picture next to a statue, send it in to us. We'll show it on Winging It on Monday. Thanks so much for this Throwback Thursday. Very informative.
Happy to be here.